We're talking about food preservation in this Newsmakers segment. Joining me now is Brenda Oftenkamp. Thank you so much for joining me. So, food preservation is something that should be done year-round.
Well, it can be done year-round, really. And the thing that I want to remind everybody to start off with is if you're going to do any kind of pressure canning and you have a pressure canner that has a gauge, that gauge really is recommended by USDA to be tested on an annual basis. And so that can be done at a lot of extension offices across the state. Here in North Platte, we can test it, and it costs $5 to do that, and you just merely have to drop off your gauge or the whole lid. You don't have to bring the whole canner, just the lid, and we will test the gauge and calibrate it, to see if it's on where it should be, and if not, we can show you how to adjust that by just reading it a little bit differently. And USDA recommends that you don't need to change the gauge unless it's more than 2 pounds, high or low. Mm-hmm. And remember, the pressure canner are when you're preserving or canning those items that are low acid. And so there again, if you're new to canning, this is the time, the month of June, to really gear up, do your reading, and understand what the differences are. Do you use a boiling water bath canner or do you use a pressure canner? And it's all by the acidity of the food that you're going to be preserving.
Is this something that a lot of people do as far as canning goes?
You say a lot of people. I think there are more people out there than what we realize, and I think there's been a spark here through the pandemic, and up until now, people are doing more gardening or going to farmers market. We all are valuing, purchasing fresh fruits and vegetables from local areas, and so to extend those great flavors, people want to can and preserve them, and of course, that is only benefiting your whole grocery shopping budget. If you have things right there in your pantry that you've preserved that were fresh at one time.
Are you having workshops, canning workshops? I know you usually do have those.
We have been offering workshops. We are not offering workshops. So what I would tell everyone is we have updated and have lots of resources up on the food.unl.edu website, and our past programs from the last 3 years are up there so they can watch those. There's lots of questions that can be answered. And then on the screen, you'll see the National Center for Home Food Preservation. And that's the national website that I would really recommend. If you don't go to the university food website, go to the National Home Food Preservation website that you're seeing there on your screen, because that is all up to date. They've just updated the whole website, so I think it's a lot more user-friendly. But you cannot necessarily be using a recipe that was a family secret or a family recipe from 20 or 30 years ago, because science and research has changed. And so you want to make sure that you're using an up-to-date, scientifically based researched recipe.
Okay. All right, Brenda, thank you so much for those tips. Anything else that you want to add?
Nope, I think that's it. Just go food.unl.edu. Give us a call at the Extension office here in North Platte or even any county, and they will refer you on to a foods educator to answer any of your questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks.
And here's Mr. Food's Kitchen.